Good morning. This is Giovanni Gallucci, joined by Chloe Dawn and Rachel Donovan, and this is the Daily Trend Report.
Morning, Giovanni.
Morning, both of you. Coffee's already on.
Rachel, you're calling in from the loft this morning.
Loft, yes. The FJ is in the carport, sounding like it always does, which is to say, like a sewing machine the size of a small refrigerator.
Did you take it out this weekend?
Ran the loop down past Ennis on Saturday. Windows down, Cody Jinks on the speakers, a tank full of regular. It was a good day.
Chloe, you're on the other end of the city.
Uptown. Iced coffee in hand, like always. The scooter ran out of charge by the time I got back from Foxtrot, so the rest of the morning is on foot.
What's on the calendar this week?
Saturday, I'm shooting at a vintage motor court out by Joshua. The Mustang is going. I'm spending today picking jackets.
You're going to drive the brick red 67 Mustang to Joshua.
I'm going to drive the brick red 67 Mustang to Joshua.
That's a sentence with no flat tire in it. I respect your confidence.
I keep AAA on speed dial.
That's the only correct answer.
All right, 3 sections today. First, the outdoor lane, where Overland Expo West just quietly cut the price floor on the whole category, and Memorial Day weekend is 6 days out. Second, clean label food and beverage, where Pepsi just rolled prebiotic cola onto every shelf in America, and the punk founder's moat is officially gone. And third, content, social, and AI, where Instagram has been telling brands what to measure since December, and most dashboards still haven't moved. Let's go.
Overland Expo West wrapped in Flagstaff this weekend. The Nissan Frontier Pro 4X debut got most of the press. The real story was on the gravel between the booths.
Rachel, what changed?
The full builds are out. 5 years of 6-figure dream rigs, steel bumpers, rooftop tents that needed a forklift. That whole aesthetic shrank this year. The 2026 floor was SUV sleeping platforms, drawer systems that fit inside the cargo area, 12-volt climate-replacing gas generators, and inflatable rooftop tents that go up in 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Hey Fun Explorer Pro. The inflatable models weigh half a hard shell. You can lift one with one hand.
So the category just made itself affordable.
The category just made itself affordable. That's the story.
Where does that leave the brand teams who've been hero-shotting the $90,000 build for the last 3 years?
In a meeting they don't want to have. The customer they could win in 2026 isn't the engineer with the 6-figure budget. That customer already bought the rig. The new customer is the 31-year-old in Plano who's been watching Overland YouTube for 2 years and assumed she could never start.
The Dirt's 2026 camping report had the data. 49% of campers booked trips specifically for mental health. 82.4 million Americans camped in 2025. 2.6 million were first-timers.
First-timers. That's a Memorial Day audience right there.
6 days out from the long weekend.
If your content calendar isn't loaded for Friday, May 22nd, you've already lost the window. The first-time camper isn't going to scroll past a glossy dream rig and buy the canvas tent. She's going to text a friend who already owns one and copy what they have.
Which is a social signal nobody's measuring yet, but everybody should.
Gemini and Grok both hit the same modular truck camper beat. 4-Wheel Camper's new Campout series and AT Overland's Atera ASI both shipped in Q2 with up to 40 different floor plans. Slide into the bed, bolt down, drive off.
Modular instead of monolithic.
Modular instead of monolithic. The audience is comparison shopping, bench dinette versus front dinette, 5-foot bed versus 6-foot. They're not daydreaming anymore, they're speccing it out.
So the content move is side-by-side configuration reels, not generic adventure footage.
Show the floor plan, show the cabinet door swing, show what a kettle looks like sitting on the counter when the door's closed. That's what closes a $20,000 add-on.
What about the heritage angle? KOA had it cross every report this morning.
Route 66 hits 100 this year. The 250th anniversary cycle is open through July 4th. 43% of campers say they're planning a heritage or Americana trip. 47% say roadside diners and small attractions now appeal more than national parks.
That's a story arc shift. The road between, not the destination.
And underneath that, the analog camping piece. KOA found 60% of campers say traditional campfire activities are a primary trip motivator. Half are intentionally recreating childhood camping experiences.
Phones off, cards out.
Phones off, cards out, cast iron on the fire. Bilson, Pendleton, Duluth Pack, Frost River, Snow Peak are quietly winning that beat right now.
The Made in America angle stacks on top without anybody having to write a single political sentence. Forlow and Outdoor Research are already in market with the USA-made line. The 250th anniversary editorial cycle is open. Most outdoor brands have nothing prepared.
If your brand has a real heritage to lean on, this is the 4-month window. The September cycle is too late.
And on heritage, the repair story is the credibility check. Patagonia's Worn Wear Repair Truck Tour. RAB opened its service center. The customer paying for the boots in 2026 wants to know they can be resold in 2030.
Repairability used to be a sustainability talking point. It's a product feature now.
It's a product feature. The brand promise of "this lasts" needs receipts. A repair line item on your website is the simplest receipt in the catalog.
All right, before we move on,
3 things you can do before the long weekend. 1. If your hero shot on the homepage is a 6-figure build, swap it before Friday. Show the family Subaru with a roof platform and a $400 tent. The first-time camper buying gear this week is shopping for permission, not aspiration.
2. Pick one piece of content aimed straight at the first-time camper, a simple checklist, a pack the cooler walkthrough, a what to bring to a state park reel. Ship it before Thursday. The 2.6 million first-time campers are searching this week, not next week.
3. If your brand has a heritage repair program or a Made in USA line, get a single photograph of a worn, restitched item up before July 4th. No campaign, no copy. Just the photograph of an old bag that's been fixed. That image carries the next 4 months. Pepsi Prebiotic Cola went nationwide in February. 3 grams of fiber, 5 grams of sugar, 30 calories. The first legacy cola brand to put prebiotic on a can of actual cola syrup. 3 months in, it's everywhere.
So that's the obit on the punk movement.
That's the obit. The category Olipop and Poppy built from a kitchen counter is now Coke's Simply Pop and Pepsi's Prebiotic Cola. PepsiCo paid about $2 billion for Poppy. The acquisition closed last May. Olipop sold roughly $400 million last year. Poppy sold roughly $500. The whole category is forecast past $2 billion within a couple years.
Chloe, what's the read for the small, clean label brand that was building toward this market a year ago?
The gut health story is no longer a moat. By 2027, every drink on the shelf will claim some flavor of microbiome benefit. The fiber gram count is table stakes now. The differentiation has to move.
Move where?
3 lanes are still open. 1. Hyper-regional sourcing. Local fruit, local water, local distribution. Big soda cannot fake a story rooted in place. 2. Radical transparency. Open the sourcing, open the fermentation process, open the test results. 3. A real point of view about food culture in America. Pepsi cannot have a worldview.
That last one is the one most brand teams won't touch.
Because most brand teams don't have a worldview. They have a positioning deck. There's a difference.
That's a hard line.
It's a real line. Olipop's the last big independent. Watch what happens to that origin story over the next 12 months. The kitchen counter narrative is 2 years from being a museum piece.
And the lawsuits are doing some of the work too. Poppy settled a class action last fall for $8.9 million. Olipop's defending one right now. The fiber math on a lot of cans never quite added up to what the front of pack implied.
So when the next functional wave hits, and the protein soda push is already in market, the lesson isn't move fast. The lesson is lead with receipts.
Source, strain, real grams per serving, the lab can defend.
Right. The shopper is reading the back of the can with her phone in her hand. Anyone vibing through a label is a class action looking for a plaintiff.
What else moved this morning?
Kettle and Fire and Force of Nature dropped a co-branded regenerative bison bone broth on May 6th. 20 grams of protein per container, 100% regeneratively raised, no additives. First national bison broth made entirely from regenerative animals.
Co-brand on 2 trust signals. Regenerative plus heritage protein.
2 stacked claims on 1 SKU. That's the move. Brands sitting on the shelf alone should be looking at co-brand collaborations that combine 2 niche credibility signals instead of trying to defend one.
Mulu did the same thing on the protein side.
Cottage cheese. 18 grams of protein per half cup. 33% more than the leading brand. National Walmart from launch. $4.26 per 16 ounce. The protein arms race is hitting categories that were sleepy 2 years ago.
Cottage cheese has a real moment running right now.
It does. And the brands without a protein number on the front of pack are getting squeezed out of the conversation entirely.
What about the oil story? ChatGPT had it big. Gemini covered it. Copilot too.
Seed Oil-Free Alliance certified product sales up 216% in Q1. 28% of U.S. consumers actively avoiding seed oils. PepsiCo, Real Good Foods, Steak and Shake, Sweet Green, Boa Steakhouse, Jackson's Honest, True Food Kitchen all announced reformulations or full conversions. True Food went 100% seed oil free across 46 locations.
That's the fastest reformulation cycle I've seen in a decade.
Brands using sunflower, canola, or soybean oil need to audit now. Get ahead of it. Loudly switch to avocado or olive and earn the consumer trust dividend. The brands waiting 6 months are going to be defending the choice instead of leading on it.
And the brand safe way to talk about the switch is no panic, no science fight.
We use this because our customers asked. That's the line.
Restraint reads as confidence. You don't have to win the seed oil argument, you just have to answer the question on the can.
One more piece. QR code transparency is starting to do real work. GS1 Digital Link is the emerging standard. 94% of consumers say transparency matters when buying. 61% want clearer ingredient origin info.
So the QR code stops being a marketing video player and starts being a real label.
Right. Put your full sourcing story and test results behind it. The shopper who scans is the most engaged customer on the floor.
All right, 3 quick ones before we move on.
3 things to do this week. 1. If your brand is still leading with a single functional claim, stack a second one by end of month. The shopper is scanning for 2 or 3 at once now. One claim doesn't pull off the shelf anymore.
2. If your formulation uses sunflower, canola, or soybean oil, get the reformulation conversation on the calendar before Friday. The migration is going to keep accelerating, and the brands switching now own the credibility moment.
3. Audit your QR codes today. If yours opens a marketing video, kill it. Put the sourcing story, the test results, and the supplier names behind it. Make the back of the package the marketing asset. Instagram rewrote distribution in December. Most brand calendars still haven't moved.
Walk us through it.
4 signals: DM shares, saves, watch time, and profile clicks. Likes and follower count dropped to near zero weight. Buffer ran the math on 52 million posts. Instagram shares up 12% year over year. TikTok shares up 45%. Likes and comments flat or down.
So the like button is the participation trophy now.
The like button is the participation trophy. The DM share is the new scoreboard. One send is worth roughly 15 likes in the distribution model.
15.
15. And here's the test you should run on your last 20 posts. Would a real person open their messages and send this to a specific friend with no caption? If the answer is no, you didn't make content. You made wallpaper.
That's a hard standard.
It's the only standard that matches what the platform is rewarding right now. The pretty hero shot dies if nobody's sending it.
What gets sent?
Sharp insights people want to look smart for finding first. Practical lists worth referencing later. Outrageous claims that beg for a hot take exchange. Niche jokes only the recipient will understand. Beautiful things worth showing off.
What doesn't get sent?
Carousels that explain your founding story in slide 1. Reels of the team at the office party. Quotes from your CEO. Anything that smells like a press release.
So the brand handle becomes the museum and the people become the ranch.
The brand handle is a backdrop. The people are the story. Get the founders, the deputies, the subject matter experts posting under their own names.
Threads passed X in mobile DAU. That was in 3 of the reports.
141.5 million mobile DAU on Threads, 125 on X. Meta opened Threads ad inventory globally early this year. Median engagement on Threads is 6.25%, 73% higher than X.
So the operator's sitting on X as their default for the last decade.
The replacement just crossed the line in actual usage, not just hype. If you're a brand operator listening, you need a personal Threads account this week. Brand pages will get crushed there.
What about the carousel data? 2 reports flagged it.
LinkedIn carousels are the highest engagement format on any platform right now. 21.77% median engagement per buffer. Multi-image carousels at 6.6% versus text posts at 4%. TikTok carousels are pulling 81% more engagement than video over almost 700,000 posts. And most brands still ignore the format on TikTok.
So the move is 1 TikTok carousel a week. Raw, screenshot style.
Raw, screenshot style. Design slides die there. The platform wants something that looks like a friend sent you a screenshot.
And LinkedIn.
Replace text-only LinkedIn posts with native PDF carousels or image carousels. The slide one hook is the entire game.
Broadcast channels. ChatGPT was on it. 60 to 70% open rates.
Broadcast channels are the closest thing to email open rates that any social platform has offered in a decade. Kava's Tzatziki Town Hall is at about 2,400 members, Shake Shack at about 4,000. Meta expanded access to all professional accounts. Most brands aren't using it.
What does a channel get used for?
Product drops, behind the scenes, polls, not press releases. The customer who joins a broadcast channel is opting into a one-to-one feel. Treat it that way.
One last piece because it changes the cadence math. YouTube Shorts viral window.
Compressed to 24 to 36 hours. The post and pray for a week model is dead. If a short doesn't break out in the first day, it never will. Build for completion in the first 3 seconds. Cut shorts to 25 to 35 seconds. Anything longer fights the algorithm.
So the cadence is up, but the run length is down.
1 to 3 shorts a day is the new working volume. Podcast pull quotes, ranking videos, problem agitation solution micro stories. One owned podcast can fuel 20 clips a week with no new shoot days.
Like this one.
Like this one, which is the segue I was hoping for.
3 takeaways before we close out.
1. Audit your last 20 Instagram posts before Friday. For each one, ask, would somebody send this to a specific friend with no caption? Cut what fails. Replace it with content that earns the send.
2. Open a personal Threads account this week if you don't have one. The brand handle stays as a museum. Your founder's personal account is where the reach lives now. Median engagement is 73% higher than X.
3. Launch a broadcast channel. 60 to 70% open rates is unheard of on any platform. Use it for drops, behind the scenes, polls, not press releases. The first 100 members are worth more than the next 10,000 followers.
One last thing before we go. If you're an operator running social for an outdoor lifestyle brand, a clean label CPG, a boating brand, a hunting brand, or an overlanding brand, and you've been listening to all this and thinking the workload just doubled, here's the honest answer. It did. The brands that win 2026 are the ones running daily content pipelines that don't depend on any single platform staying friendly.
Which is what Gallucci Net builds.
AI-assisted production, multi-platform distribution, daily content cycles for outdoor and clean label brands. This episode came out of the same kind of pipeline I'd build for a client. 3 voices, 5 trend reports, 16 minutes of audio, all before sunrise.
All before sunrise.
If that's the kind of system you want sitting under your brand, find me at gallucci.net or DM at gallucci.net on Instagram or LinkedIn. We'll talk about whether the work fits.
Talk tomorrow.
Talk tomorrow.
Talk tomorrow.